I've read quite a few weird and wacky books over the past year, but I think I may have finally gone too far down the weird story rabbit hole. Main character's a dungeon ant monster? Fine. Main character's a merchant crab? Okay, cool. Main character's an actual vending machine? Oh, what have I done?
No fluff writing advice. Cut the fluff!
Straight up, Reborn as a vending machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon, Volume 1, has plenty of problems. It's also insanely creative and a fun read overall. Before we discuss all the issues, yes, it may be a tough read for some people. Let's vend out some praise where it's due. Firstly, I've got to give the author Hirukuma credit for fully leaning into the vending machine angle. The protagonist Boxo is indeed a man reincarnated as a sentient vending machine. He can't talk, aside from a few pre-programmed phrases. He can't walk because, most vending machines can't. Although I wouldn't be surprised if walking vending machines are a thing, chasing people down, trying to persuade them to buy their wares. Anyway, the main thing Boxo can do is change which products he offers. He can also purchase skills and upgrades with the points he gets from people making purchases, but for the most part, he operates like an actual vending machine. Yes, the product matches the description. I guess the story is technically lit RPG. It uses a lot of the tropes and conventions from the genre. In this case, the character sheets are basically a list of products Boxo can supply and his features, and he does make an impact with his vendable items, stocking the right thing at the right time to help someone out of a jam. He does get creative based on what he can and can't do. What he can do is mostly vending machine stuff. You might think a story about a vending machine would lack tension. Sure, there are quite a few slice of vending machine life moments, but there are also some genuinely tense scenes, including many of the action scenes. Yes, even as an inert vending machine, Boxo gets himself into a spot or two of bother, and he needs to find creative solutions, vending related solutions, to get out of them. One solution is. No, I won't spoil it, but it's, the answer to most unknown questions, really. Boxo's personality reminds me a lot of Anthony from Chrysalis in the sense that he's been reincarnated as something unexpected and he just accepts it, embraces it, and decides to be the best damn vending machine he can be. I will say, most of the characters in Reborn as a vending machine feel quite flat in a typical cartoonish way. We don't get much meaningful character development. However, the relationship between Boxo and Lamis, she's the well-built woman who carries him around, is quite cute. They're both adorable in their own ways. They even figure out how to communicate in a way, sort of. Many of Boxo's struggles do come from his inability to communicate clearly. It's an interesting source of conflict, and he does find creative ways to get his messages across. And when Lamis finds Boxo for the first time, she, of course, says all her thoughts out loud, so we know what she's thinking. Bit convenient. Yes, the dungeon is a subtlety-free zone. I guess we've just slid into the critiques, haven't we? All right, let's do it. Firstly, the novel starts with a prologue that's seemingly unconnected to the actual story. It's a flash forward, I guess. Yes, Boxo and Lamis do appear, but we're seeing them from someone else's viewpoint, someone who doesn't show up again in the story. Who is this person? Did I miss something? Maybe it relates to the overall series, but it sets up something it just doesn't deliver in this book. Honestly, at this point, right at the start, I thought I'd made a terrible mistake with this book. But thankfully, once we shift to Boxo's point of view, the story does hit its stride with a funly, humorous vibe. What? Funly is not a word. How is that possible? I strongly disagree. As far as I'm concerned, funly is a word, and I'm going to insert it into every review from now on. Yeah, that's my little protest. Anyway, I seem to have snuck some more praise in among the critiques. Whoops, might as well roll with it. So for me, Reborn as a vending machine isn't a laugh out loud story, but it does have a fun style of humour. Remember, funly humorous, it works quite well. Alright, let's cover a few more minor complaints before I get to my biggest gripe and perhaps the biggest turn-off for many readers. Going into Reborn as a vending machine, you must be willing to embrace the wackiness. It's very cartoonish, and it has been made into an anime series. If they did it well, it could be a fun watch. I'm tempted to give it a go. If anyone's seen it, let me know. Is it worth watching? But my point is, sometimes the cartoonishness borders on too ridiculous, almost Looney Tunes level of ridiculousness. I'm mainly thinking about the conclusion to the Frog Fiend fight. It's a little silly, but it's also creative, so yeah, I won't complain too much. And with the final situation, there's a questionable coincidence there, which I could have overlooked, but that situation doesn't resolve in a compelling way. I don't want to spoil anything, but I wanted to see Boxo come up with a creative solution for what seemed like an impossible situation, and it's a predictable outcome. I was disappointed, I'll say that much. So, my biggest issue with the novel is it's not well written. There's plenty of clunky writing, awkward dialogue, and even confusing passages. I swear there's one part that talks about something that didn't happen. Huh? There are also some silly names, like one creature is called a double serpent. Yes, double serpent, because it's like two snakes in one. It couldn't be more literal. With that said, the novel does appear to be a translation from Japanese to English, which might explain why the prose feels off. It's not a deal breaker or a story breaker, at least it wasn't for me, but it is noticeable. Oh, another big issue, the title is totally misleading. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. Boxo is doing zero wandering. How can he wander? He doesn't have legs. At best, he's doing second-hand wandering. So, if he doesn't grow legs in the next book to do some actual wandering, I want my money back. Look, problems aside, I enjoyed Reborn as a vending machine. I cannot physically wander the dungeon. Yes, that should be the title. I appreciate the creativity and the opportunity to read something that's like nothing I've ever read before. When I'm in the mood for something cute and cartoonish, I could see myself reading more. What will Boxo and Lamus get up to next? I don't know, maybe explain what the hell that prologue was about? That'd be nice. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy this video, hit subscribe anyway, and hate watch my content. That's always fun.